Hello, everyone. Today is February 25th, 2025. It is 7 o'clock, and we bring to you the Baker County Animal Advisory Committee. And we will call this to order. I'll probably slam that a little too early. We will do our new business, approval of minutes.
I have an issue with the minutes.
You have an issue with the minutes?
Mhm.
What page?
Okay, so it says Linda Taylor stated spay neuter have been a success. She will bring an update of the numbers to the next meeting, which I do not have that with me. I had another meeting to go to, so I kind of got behind on that. But it also says Paige stated that the London Sanctuary is still doing transport until the grant runs out. That must have been somehow confused because that is a different endeavor that they are doing. It had nothing to do with Spay Baker.
Okay. Okay, so if we have that, do we bypass that and we have approval of minutes? What do y'all think?
If we can
Say that again?
bypass that,
If
then
we
yeah.
bypass that, do we approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve with that
Okay.
omission.
Who seconds it?
Second.
Okay. Rescue incentives, Connie Kennedy is not here. Can anyone speak on that? No? I think Connie's busy with something coming up. Possible partnering with Baker Correctional to restart the prison training program for dogs. We have talked about that for months.
Yes.
Do we have anything? Anyone know anything on that? Oh, that's a shame. I know. Okay. Progress made under grants, Jennifer Barker.
If we could just get an update on where we're at on the status of grants. I don't know if somebody could speak to that, if Sarah's not here. Okay.
Okay. Amen. Okay. And number 5 is community cats. Now, who would like to speak on community cats?
I'll just mention, I know it's something that as a committee we've been talking about for a little while. I don't know that there's been any movement. I know that there are some restrictions in certain areas that would be a barrier to us starting that, but I think it's worth exploring. I don't know if we've been able to have any meetings about that, but I would be willing to initiate those conversations with the right people.
Well, what does that actually
what was- I was
mean?
gonna
What
ask
is
what
that,
was it
community cats?
Community cats, so I haven't had an opportunity to look through the shelter stats, but historically we see community or feral cats are the cats that are generally euthanized in the shelter system. So if we can come up with a solution where we don't have to do that and we can take a more humane approach, that is the discussion, you know.
And I believe we have. It's just, it takes time because, you know, feral cats are hard to trap and, you know, so, yeah.
Was part of that conversation having a discussion or starting discussions with the city manager as well about the ordinance and if there's any opportunity or room to update that in the future over time?
We've had a discussion with the city manager even recently, and they still say that they're not going to tweak the city ordinance that says no free roaming cats. However, if you have contact with businesses that desire to have no more than a couple of cats out there, then the city manager requires a letter from that business manager or owner to say that they're okay with that, and that they would not, if we present that to the city, they will not contact Georgia and have her trap those cats that they want there. But they did stress that they only want a couple of cats at these businesses. They do not want colonies.
But do we have any?
That's only in the city, and does not pertain to the county. Anything outside of the county is fair game. So,
Okay. But have we received any
and
letters
the one thing I
from
wanted
businesses?
that I discussed with Sarah also, she said that we really need to keep a low profile on that and not try to bring that, if we're going to be doing it anyway, not to bring that to anybody's attention. Just try to handle it, take care of it.
You just did.
Huh?
I know. Well, that is because we love.
But they need
That's
to know
because
too.
we love
They need
cats.
to know not to complain. You know,
Right.
they need to know to handle it.
Either do something about
The
it.
public can do something as well as we. They've got money.
Yes.
They can trap and have cats fixed.
Yes.
And when they
absolutely.
do, they'll stay right there at their house.
Let's be
or-
very clear too. There can be a TNVR solution for Baker County. You don't have to advertise that these cats are coming out of the city and being released there, or that they're doing that. Nobody should be technically, unless they have that letter from the business.
That's exactly what I was
But a
saying
lot of the
just now.
county, people
Yeah.
can still trap. They can have colonies outside of the city limits that they're willing to take care of, have it on their properties, and we're putting together efforts across the board
Absolutely.
to help with those,
Yes.
getting them
But that's
fixed.
exactly what I was saying. Just do it, you know.
Yes.
And try to do it the way they want us to do it and keep a low profile and try not to get complaints from neighbors and other
So
businesses.
Linda, when was that meeting with the city manager, Mr. Harris?
I'm sorry, what?
When was that meeting with Mr. Harris?
I don't know the exact date, but it hasn't been long. It's Sarah's dad, Mr. Griffiths.
I understand. What was it in 2024?
Pardon?
Was it in 2024?
Or was it this year? in
It was
25?
2023.
It was in
The
2020.
end of 2023, yes.
Okay. So how do we get a meeting like that? How do we? I'm just curious.
I think we can probably request one, and it's not a bad idea.
I
Maybe
think
if we all can
Jennifer,
come
I think
together.
Jennifer knows more about all of it than any of us here. I think we should not try to bombard them with a bunch of people, but let somebody that has the right speak, the right lingo to have another meeting with he and the new assistant city manager.
Because I think last time we met too, Sarah was going to try to initiate some of that discussion. So I'd be happy to reach out to her to see if we got any movement on that.
I also want to add to satisfy Ms. Pittman, I have a personal relationship with the man, and he is wanting a kitty that's an orange or red tabby, and I talk to him periodically to see if we can fix him up. So I don't have to have a certain date that I have met with him.
I was just asking for the record, but
Sure.
since that conversation you had with them, right? We've had the city planning. We're talking about doubling the size of McClenny, right? With all those extra homes out here and that build out. And so with that growth, right? There's been talk about how is animal control going to deal with that? What's their capacity? They certainly don't have the capacity now. What's the roadmap on giving them expansion and getting them some more support? But also with more people living in town, those outside animals are going to double, triple, quadruple. So what is our plan to have preventative measures? So that conversation that you mentioned in 2023, right? It's a little bit different now that we have all this expansion growth that we're planning.
As I said, I speak with him periodically, so it has been since the official meeting in 2023. Also, I'd like to say that I'm sure that what we're discussing here really comes under the venue of animal control. So, we're an advisory committee. Anything that we have that we feel like should be done, we're supposed to make advisement and have say represented to the county commissioners. That's how this board works, from what I understood when we formed it,
Okay.
as a originating member.
Okay.
So let's all make advisements and let the county commissioners have it.
Yes. Okay.
Great.
All right, and then we'll talk about that next meeting.
Yeah, and we can,
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're bringing in all these new homes that are coming in here, on the average, there's 2.8 pets per household. The city has a limitation on residential lots of no more than five household pets.
Well,
And that's actually been raised. It was 3. It was
Yeah.
3. Now we
So that's a
somebody
lot
did
coming
something
in.
that made that
So you
happen.
have all these new homes come in, and they all can have 5 pets. There's a lot of animals to be dealt with.
Yeah, and how do you prove that? Well, you don't go around
Yeah,
town.
because there's no licensing set forth in this county. We have to license your animals, so you really can't keep track of it.
No. No.
are you
Okay.
aware of any growth plans for animal control? I think, we were able to expand some positions in the budget this year through some grant sources, but have there been discussions about how to prepare for that future growth? And are we anticipating the capacity over the next year or two to stay the
I don't
same?
even know if they can build anything else out there, because we are placed on an old landfill. Plus, we share those grounds with the county road yard, because they store gravel and all that stuff out there. So to build something else out there or to make it larger, probably not going to happen at that location. You probably would have to have another location. So.
Sounds like a lot of planning we need to get involved probably sooner rather than later, hopefully that
That took
happens.
forever to get what we have,
Yeah.
right? Didn't it, Georgia?
We've been in that location since August of 2004. We've been there 20 years, 21 years this year.
And the only thing that's grown is the cat house, right?
Well,
I mean, that wasn't
we had
there.
the barn built, and
Yeah, okay.
the middle school donated us a portable, and that's what we turned into keeping
Which
the
is
cats and,
wonderful,
and
yeah.
storage and laundry and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But the actual building itself is still the same size as it was in 2004.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else with new business? We can go on to recurring items. Anybody else have anything to say? Okay, let's go to fundraising. Past fundraising, do we have anything anyone would like to mention? When's the last time we met? I'm trying to think.
Well, there was a
Least 15
fundraising that was done at Christmas. Is that not-
When was the last time we met? Do you
We-
know?
August, right?
It was August? Oh, my heavens. I know it's been something. Okay, and I wasn't able to attend Christmas. So how did we do with our fundraising?
We reached our goal for the scholarship of $250,
Okay.
doing donations at the fair, Becker County Fair.
Perfect. Okay.
And finished it up at the booth during the Christmas festivities before the parade. So we've got the $250.
Okay, good. That's good.
And it was turned into Miss Kayla to deposit into the line item account for scholarship.
Okay.
I think, well, if we met in August, then the my event Heroes for Hounds, that was in September. We ended up raising quite a bit of money, which was great, between the Legion and Friends of Baker County Animals. And then the money that went to Friends of Baker County Animals, $1,000, was donated to animal control and the line item to add to the Spay Baker Fund. So instead of the $4,000 they got for this term, they got $5,000, the $4,000 from the county and $1,000 from Friends of Baker County Animals. And then another $1,000 was donated to the London Sanctuary, and another $1,000 was donated to Rowley's Angels.
And we thank you.
Absolutely, happy to do that.
And then you have another event coming up, right?
Yes. Do you want to do that now while we're talking about past?
wait.
Or?
Well, let me go ahead. Okay, scholarships, we've done that. Okay, pet number 2, PetSmart adoption update.
We made our 50, didn't we?
Yeah.
We made our
We
50.
made our 50. yeah.
And I wanted to ask why they haven't been, I know in past, they've asked for volunteers to come, and I haven't really seen any kind of like, can you transport a dog?
Because
or
our
something?
adoption coordinator's been doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's been transporting.
And she does the whole day? She
does the whole day.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
that's a lot. On the weekend,
And
too.
while we were on our last thing, I wanted to add that we did, $300 and something for Pet Photos with Santa.
That's right, that was great.
That's
Country
cute.
Pups matched us.
Wow.
So whatever we raised for Pet Photos
Really?
with Santa, the Country Pups wrote us a check.
Speaking of Country Pups, didn't they do a big delivery of food for you guys
Yes.
as well?
Yes, yes.
That's wonderful.
So we were real appreciative of
And
that.
what about the homeschool kids?
Oh, yeah.
That was lovely to see. Did you
Yeah.
see that, Kayla?
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
That's so
Roots and
sweet.
Wings is an organization that does children homeschooling, and they had a bake sale. And this was just in the first part of February. They had a bake sale at the Rock Gym, and they raised I guess $500 and something.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of
$500
cookies.
And then the kids come down, they actually collected food for the
So sweet.
food bank at this event, and they came down and delivered it, and I took their pictures and all that. So that was
Love
real
seeing the
successful.
community come together for stuff like
It
that.
is,
It's
and
so
you know,
cool.
and I believe we need to teach the children how to love animals, what they need. You know, I think it's wonderful.
Well, I gave them a
Golly.
tour that day when they
That's
came
great.
down and delivered. They had a good time.
They did.
Yeah.
In the tour, they see Jordan. Jordan.
They toured the whole building.
Listen,
and
Jordan, he's a chunk.
We had 2 kids that were begging to adopt kitten and
Of
puppy.
course,
Yeah,
of course.
Driving their parents nuts.
Of course.
And yes, Jordan loves all the visitors.
What a, and you know, and that a young tender heart. That's what we need to touch, that young tender heart, because that will grow. You know, a love for animals, the compassion, and the sympathy for the homeless. I think is perfect at that age. I think that's a wonderful idea. Whoever organized it. Okay, so we have future project updates. We have any?
LaDonna's having her thing again
Okay.
at the fairgrounds, so we're going to set up a booth for the Baker County Animal Advisory Committee.
Okay, so what event is that?
It's a community resource fair.
And when is that?
March 29th.
That's March 29th.
It's going to be at the fairgrounds.
At the fairgrounds,
We'll be
okay.
participating as well.
And there
You
will
are
be
too.
pet adoptions, okay? And what's the
Well,
time for
actually, it's
that?
not pet adoptions. This is for the community resources. So
Mhm.
this will be strictly animal control. That we're a resource for the community.
Okay,
Right.
but no adoptions
No adoptions.
available, okay. Okay.
And then for, I'll be up there representing for Fix Them All as well, so that they're aware that that's available as a low-cost option
Wonderful.
for spay neuter.
Wonderful. Okay, live release report. Is anyone able to look at that? I always look at it and it's like Spanish to me, so I don't know. Anybody that knows how to read it?
Shelter Love changed their system.
It looks so great.
It's much easier to read, I must say, but it's not as detailed. And we've been having a lot of fun with the new way they changed everything. It's always freezing up, and
Well, of course.
not exactly the same as the other ones. Sometimes we hit glitches, especially when we're trying to take animals out of the system that have been adopted. It keeps throwing us over to shelter pay instead of letting us go through the financial end of it. So, but we're working out all the glitches. It's just going to take time. So.
Sure.
I haven't had an opportunity to go through this, and I know that we have several months. So, Georgia, would you mind just giving us an update on how things are going with, you know, adoptions and live
Things are going great with the adoptions. We've been having a lot of in-house adoptions. We've been trying to do PetSmart at least once a month, if not twice, depending on what animals we have. But we've been having quite a few in-house adoptions here lately.
I think a lot of it has to
Tanya's
do
doing a
with
really
the
good job.
with the
She is.
Facebook friends of the
very good
animal
job.
control. And then as we share it and everyone sees it, and I think the little chihuahua,
Well, she's networking with those animals in
Yeah.
a much broader spectrum
Yes.
than just Baker County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's always finding new sites, and
Tanya's wonderful.
She's calling up different rescues too, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, she's really
in fact,
good.
she reorganized all of our. We had this file. It was like this thick of all the rescues that we had worked with for the last 20-something years, and she organized all of them. And when she updated all the contact people, and she called every one of them, got the new person, new phone numbers and everything, because some of those rescues, like Boston Terrier Rescue, we hadn't worked with them in probably 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because we don't ever get Boston
Right.
Terriers.
No.
But she's doing a really good job. And,
Yes, she
and
does.
We're pleased with her. So.
And she's a lot of fun and easy to work with too. Okay, so that's the live release report. Items to discuss at the next meeting.
And for the record, can y'all state who's going to be doing the scholarship ownership for the school? Who's going to be listed?
Well,
Handing out the checks?
I mean, I don't mind doing it. I know I did it last year. I know Georgia, would you like to do it?
I was out of town.
Okay.
When
When is it?
last year, that's.
Do we know the date of the? we
That's
have-
what I was asking.
March
but-
7th is what it says in his
Okay,
letter, I
Well,
think.
we've got to let them know if we're doing it.
We
by
have to
March.
have the funding to them by March the
And we
7th.
have the money.
So we
right?
need to find out when the date of the actual presentation
It's
is.
usually in May, isn't it? I think it's in May.
It's usually right before graduation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't mind doing it if Georgia doesn't. I enjoyed it. I was amazed at the money that was given out. My gosh, but I was so proud of our money because we worked so hard for every dime we've ever had, and that's a lot of money to us. It may not be a lot of money in Walmart or anywhere else, but it's a lot of money to these people who, blood, sweat, and tears.
So we
So,
got a very nice thank you letter from the young man that received it last. I put it in my scrapbook.
how sweet,
And he thanked us for choosing him. And
wonderful.
That's great.
Yes, it is. Okay. Anything else? Items to be discussed for next meeting? Maybe what happens what happens on the 29th, and then where's yours?
Yeah, so at the next meeting, we can talk about the next Heroes for Hounds, which is going to start being held in April. So I think by that March meeting, next month's meeting, we should have just about everything finalized to talk
Wonderful.
about how many vendors, silent auction items, sponsors, and then where a lot of the proceeds are going to go.
Okay. That sounds wonderful.
Mhm.
And we already have our next meeting scheduled. Do we have anything else? We have any public comments? Anyone that would like to comment? We would love to have you. Just speak your name.
Thanks for
and-
joining.
I was here once before, July a year ago or so. My name's Kevin Losey. In Jacksonville, I represent Oasis Animal Rescue, Inc. I came to basically say that I would like to offer my services to you guys. If you run into any troubles or anything at some point, you can call me. I'm pretty, I wouldn't say free all day long, but I can work things around if you need my help.
Okay.
Also, you were talking about the dogs and children. I wouldn't mind doing that. I have a couple of dogs that would be perfect for that.
Okay.
One's a Siberian Husky, and another one, he's a mutt, but he's part Great Pyrenees, and I don't know, but he stands about 3 foot tall and about 4 or 5 foot long. Also, we've been in service now, operating for the last year.
Are you brick and mortar?
I'm
Are
sorry?
you brick and mortar?
Well, you might say that.
Are you pulling from agencies? or-
No, we've been doing local mostly around the west side of Jacksonville. I work out of my house, which is rented, and my landlord doesn't really know it. I've
He
got.
does now.
Well, maybe.
Do you have a card or anything to
Yes, I
leave
do.
with us? Okay, that's
I
good.
have 5 dogs inside, 3 dogs outside. I have kennels and pens that I keep them. Then I take them out for a few hours a day and, let them do their things. We've been lucky where we have found strays running around, and we've been able to put them back with their owners.
That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
I would say most of the time. I've only had a few where I've had to basically go to the bigger guys to bring them to, because we were full at the time. We used to get a lot of puppies. I'm not set for 4-week-old puppies, so we had to take care of things like that. We've also been doing work with the homeless. We've passed the word around, we've done several where they might have to go to a doctor or go into the hospital for a short stint. We will put their animals up for the time that they're in the hospital.
That's a good idea.
nice.
Yeah,
And,
that is nice.
And if they can, they give us a donation. Donations as far as overall have been rather slim.
Sure,
You
sure.
know?
But you get the blessing.
Yes, yes. And I'm at the point to where I really need to expand, but I can't find anybody as far as grant work goes. Everybody wants big dollars to do it, and I just don't have that kind of money.
Well, it sounds like what you're doing, you know, picking up strays. Do you take them to the vet to see if they've been chipped?
Yeah.
So that's how you start.
Well,
And
I
you breed- and
mean,
you
I
go
have a
back to
vet
their
that I
owner?
deal with, you know,
Uh-huh.
and take them, make sure everybody's okay and everything.
That's nice.
A house burnt down next to me. There was a horde there, and we were taking the cats
Oh.
to get fixed and everything. We did that for a while. Unfortunately, I live on a street where they use it as their own personal Autobahn. We run parallel to 103rd Street. So when they don't want to go down 103rd, they come down my block.
Sure, 90 miles an hour.
And I've lost about 10 cats to
Yeah.
that. And it kind of broke my heart because it was always after they got fixed, you know. I'm not really sure on how to go about the grant thing because I don't write them, and I don't know anybody that I can talk to figure it out,
Yeah.
I guess.
That would not be me. Who knows?
I'd be Jennifer.
Yeah,
Oh, you're the one?
Yeah.
well, I'd be happy to talk with you.
Okay.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
you're established as a 501c3
Yes,
nonprofit,
yeah.
and you've been in operation for a year, which
Yeah.
is wonderful. And you're focusing on animals in Jacksonville, but also Baker County.
Well, originally when I first started, I wanted to be out here in Baker County. It was just that everything that I was finding was the property and the buildings were out of my league. And I started looking at property in Laude and found some really nice stuff for very reasonable. But once again, the funds, because it was property, there was no buildings or anything on it, I would have to go forth. For example, I found one, it was 7 acres on 301, cleared out with a little pond and room enough for everything. They only wanted 100,000 for it. But, you know, once again, money for everything to operate. You know, being that our donations have been very meager, I've been using my Social Security to cover everything else. We do get food from like Walmart and some of the other smaller, like what's it called, Tractor Supply. They help out, and working on getting around to going to other, I guess you would call it soliciting other companies and stuff like that. But yeah, we're trying to get up and go, and just need a bigger place to do it. I like it out here. My ex-father-in-law lived out here. Now my daughter lives out here. So it was a nice place that I wanted to start, but unfortunately, I started in Jacksonville where you can spit and hit another rescue.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful that you got started. I'd be happy to have a conversation
Sure.
with you. We can
What
schedule
is the
some
name of
time.
your organization?
Oasis Animal Rescue Inc.
Oasis?
Yes, ma'am.
Animal Rescue,
Inc.
Inc.
Yeah. I wanted it just animal rescue, but that was taken.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I bet.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it took me through 2 years to get to the point to operation, and so I guess it would be a total of 3 years I've been at this. So, and like I said, if with the children and whatnot, I speak well with children, and you know, just offering my services for that.
Okay. Sounds good. The only thing with speaking with children is that there's so many, you know, getting into schools or anything. That would be hard to do. We have different events that come up that, you know, maybe you could be involved in that. But I don't know, I guess you could talk to him and see.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Paige,
Yeah, we appreciate you,
Mhm.
ma'am.
for your Heroes for Hounds event, do you take out of county people?
Yes, we can, as long as you're supporting Baker County.
Yeah.
I'll,
I was gonna say, you could set up a booth with this.
what's your email
rescue-
address?
Personally, Kay,
Your business for the
Business?
nonprofit.
it's oasisanimalinc.org. That also.
That sounds like a website.
What do you?
That sounds like a website. What's your email address?
Oh, no. I haven't used it.
You can get back to
I'm
us.
sorry.
Yeah, or you can just give your
I-
card. Does your card have your phone number or anything?
Yeah, that has
Yeah,
it.
she's, they're fixing to have a huge event.
Mm-hmm.
And that would
It's
be.
okay. That's
that
something
would-
you would want to know
Yeah.
for the event.
I know.
Yeah, that would be something to get your foot in the door.
Right.
We won't be doing any, as far as we're doing some dog adoptions, but we're trying to make it focused around our local rescues here. So the London Sanctuary and Animal Control.
Mhm.
So we definitely don't want to have outer counties competing with that here.
No, that's understandable.
But definitely can set up a booth. We still have booth space.
Or you could come as a volunteer to kind of get to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah,
Different
that would be.
options.
Yeah,
as a volunteer.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to be stepping on anybody's toes by any means. You know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. If you're helping Baker County, we could
Yeah.
use all the help we could get.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and
My toes stuck
trying
on
to
it.
do like auctions and stuff like that. I tried to get people to donate things. Didn't work out too well, and everybody wants you to purchase it even at a lower price. And once again, I don't have the funds to do
Yeah,
things.
it's just, I think everyone is afraid of a scam
Yeah.
nowadays. And they're not we're kind of at a point in this country where everybody's afraid of being taken.
No, that's true.
And so, you know, you have to be careful.
Mhm.
And a good way to maybe start off would be to volunteer with one of the events, you know, like with Paige or something. You kind of know what's going on, you start meeting people,
Mhm.
you know, and it just spirals from there.
Right.
You know, that's how, because if you're an animal lover, I mean, we all just have this interconnection that we love animals and we want the best, and them before us, not us before them.
Right.
So, but we appreciate you coming. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
that was basically it. You know, if I can be at service of anything
Okay.
and volunteer.
Yeah, just leave a card with us, and
Yes,
and I think maybe Jennifer can talk to you for a minute afterwards.
Okay.
And I'm wondering too, have you considered volunteering at Animal Control? I wonder if there's an opportunity for you
My
to.
mornings are with what I do,
Mhm.
and I understand you're only from 8:30 until noon.
Well, that's when we're there cleaning and stuff. And in the afternoon, I'm in the field all the rest of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you say volunteering for that, do you mean?
Well, I was just wondering what the current need is. Maybe
Oh.
there would be a way
It
to
all
make
depends
something
on what's
work.
going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have used 5 people and we were raising the 7 drawers.
Yeah,
Your
you like
puppies.
to clean.
We only have 1 left.
Yeah, do you like to clean?
You clean every hour.
Yes,
You're
there's
cleaning.
always
We
something
had
to
3
clean.
playpens
I know about
going at
cleaning.
the same time.
Yeah, keep a smile on your face and go, oh my gosh.
Because
Yeah.
by the time they were 8 weeks old, they were scaling the walls of the playpen, and then you were running all over the landfill chasing them. So, yeah.
I wonder about like animal enrichment too. Maybe an opportunity for you to, socialize or walk some of the animals.
Mhm.
But I'm just putting that out there because it sounds like you want to be involved, and I know that
Yeah.
Animal Control always can use the extra
Mhm.
helping hand. So
Yeah, my afternoons are pretty well open. It's the mornings when I'm taking care of everybody.
Just give us a call, because we do have an adoption coordinator. No, she does afternoon adoptions by appointment,
Mhm.
but she is in the building, so we'll talk to her and see if there's something you could help her with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always pretty busy up there.
Yeah. Well, wait. I know it's not as big as yours, but 8 dogs keep me going.
I get that.
In a home, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my girlfriend is starting to jump all over me because she doesn't want to get thrown out.
Well, I would be cautious with that for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, because, of renting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I'm saying I need to find something that I can do. Well, not do, but expand into.
Sure.
Now, I've been looking around Jacksonville, but everything is getting all built up again, and they're wanting more money than it's really worth.
Everything is growing, and we're actually growing a little too fast for my taste.
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do about that.
No.
About improvement.
Well, I can say I knew what it was like here 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's changed.
Not like
Yeah.
that anymore, dude.
No.
No. It's changed. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Well, thank you for the time.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're kind of a little early. Anyone else have anything to say? Do you have anything coming up? Anything? Georgia? Anything?
Yeah, other than the Heroes for Hounds,
Is there another?
PetSmart, Saturdays, we got some cats going. So, they need,
Two,
they need some space.
two,
Yeah,
two cats.
yeah. Can one stay?
I don't know
Can I
yet.
have my pen back at PetSmart? Are you still using it?
It's not yours.
I like that fine toe.
Is there
when you
another
have them in.
adoption week coming up? Don't they do those 3 times a year? Is that coming up in March or April? Do
What's
you,
the
End of-
national coming
End of
up?
March.
End of March?
Last week of March.
would you need volunteers for that?
How many dogs do you
I
have?
don't know yet because we're having problems getting surgeries.
How many dogs do you bring tomorrow?
No
Miss
dogs,
Sarah?
just cats.
Just
Just
cats?
cats.
We've got Five Toe. How's he doing?
I can't even get a spay and neuter appointment until the end of March.
Wow.
Actually, can you maybe just give us an update on what the current challenges are? So it sounds like spay and neuter appointments.
Yeah, getting appointments.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your, I know it varies, but like on average, how many per week do you think you would need?
We've been doing 2 to 4.
2 to 4?
2 to 4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I usually have to make the appointments like 2 months in advance, but that kind of didn't happen because y'all know that I was out for a while, and they were struggling down there. Forgot to call ahead and all that. So we tried to get into 6th Street, but I guess they only do surgeries once a week on Tuesdays. And they're having the situation down there at the Clinic Vet Clinic where Dr. Harrison has not been doing anything anymore. He's got a couple of vets that are filling in for him. So,
Dr. Jackson comes in Thursday,
So
Okay.
and
it's
Dr.
been,
Gutierrez is there every day.
Okay. Well, let me see. I mean, even if I'm picking up 2 dogs in my car on my way to work, if you have a backlog and that's a barrier to getting them
Yeah.
the adoption exposure, I'd be happy to help with that.
I mean, I can't take anything. I can adopt it out of the pound and it can stay there until a surgery date becomes available. But with PetSmart, they have to be done prior to launch.
Right.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
So if they're adopted out of the pound, they have to stay until they have.
If
The
they're
surgery,
sexually
okay.
mature, they stay in our custody until their surgery dates.
And we don't want to
If they're
prolong the
puppies-
animal length of
'cause
stay.
yeah,
So,
because there's 100 things that could
If they're
happen.
Yeah.
puppies, like the puppies we've been adopting out this past couple of weeks, these puppies are only 11 weeks old. They're not sexually mature, so the appointments are being made. We know when they were born. They were born in December, so they're going to be spayed and neutered in June.
You're doing it with vouchers?
Um,
You're doing
no,
vouchers?
we do follow-ups. Every animal that we adopt out that's younger than 6 months old, we keep a file. And every month we go through that file and we be calling. I've already repossessed one dog.
So you call. Do you visit or do you just
Yeah, we call.
you call them?
Yeah, we make sure
What
their
if they
surgeries are
abscond?
done.
What if you feel like
What if they
they're not-
abscond?
What do you feel
What
like
if
they're
they
not?
abscond with the cat, a dog? Well, they
I haven't had that, but I have had people who haven't done it. And I just go get the dog and take it and get
Yeah.
surgery, and then I take it back home.
Because you asked for the paperwork for proof too, right?
Well,
Yeah.
their contract with us, it actually says if you don't sterilize the animal, you breach your contract and you have the right to take the animal back. So,
And then you have proof from the vet too, do they?
and Tanya does that too sometimes in the afternoon.
Yeah.
She'll actually go through that file, and because you'll write at the bottom of that contract when that follow-up should be. They're hitting 5-6 months old, we need follow-up on it. So she'll go through there and, okay, well, this is February, anything that said February 2025, she's gone. So,
What is the reasoning for waiting that amount of time before you're doing the
because
spay
the
and
vets
neuter?
that we have contract here will not do them under 6 months of age.
Okay.
Yes, they will. They do them for us. They do them for Rollins Angels. both
Because I
dogs
feel like
and cats.
I
Yeah.
thought it was 4 months.
I feel like that.
That was Dr. Harrison and the old regime.
Yeah.
But I'm
It-
telling you, they'll do them. If you can get an appointment, they'll do them
Well,
at
I've got
12
one in
weeks.
today that was only 10 weeks old.
Yeah, I mean, we do them as early as,
They
8
re-
weeks,
right.
so.
They want them here, they want them 12 weeks.
The
they sort of-
reasoning that was given to me is that they wanted to wait until their organs were more mature,
Yeah.
because a lot of times when you neuter male cats specifically way too young, their urethra doesn't grow.
That's right.
And they have lifelong problems, develop crystals, things like that.
Yeah. And
So
that's
anyway, is
I'd be
5, 6
happy
months.
to get
5
some.
for the females, 6 months, or 5 for the males and 6 months for
They're
the
still
females.
telling people that on the phone that they will do. They do for me.
Yeah, that's definitely
And other
something we should
rescue.
look at. I'd be
Because I
happy
got
to
2
provide.
puppies right now that are well over 5 pounds.
Mhm.
Oh,
That-
hey,
Yeah.
20 pounds. I picked them up. Those ones that are in there, those Brindle puppies,
They ain't no 20 pounds.
they're huge. They're huge.
Maybe that's something we can add to next meeting agenda,
Okay.
because I feel
Okay.
like, we could be prepared to
Okay.
have further discussion about that to see, because it sounds like that's a current challenge, waiting
Yeah.
for the spay and neuter appointment, but then also making sure that once they're in the homes, they have the spay or neuter. So let's see if I'd be happy to bring some updated
Caitlin, you
literature
have
and
that
shelter guidelines
for next
just to help
month?
support that conversation.
Georgia, how is it difficult to get a PO for a new vet from you guys? Is there a process you have to go through to use a new vet and get a PO order for them?
Well, the thing is that it's out of boundaries. We transport all this animal surgery
Mm-hmm.
stuff, so we having to drive to other cities or other counties. It's just not an option for us because we have to be here.
If you had a volunteer do it though, and it was at a different vet outside the county, does it take a while to get that approved?
It would be something that they would have to go before the board.
Because it's another
It'd be
county.
authorized as a contractual, like Dr. Harrison did. They actually
I
had to
see.
go before the board to enter a contract with the county.
So that's another piece of
Yeah.
that puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they agreed to do every cat for a certain amount and every dog for a certain amount.
Mhm.
And that is, I believe Dr. Engel was approached about that because he was only 8 miles away, but Dr. Engel at Baldwin Animal Clinic declined to participate.
He declined us, too.
Hmm.
He declines a lot.
Okay, so going back, you will let Mr. Hill know that we have the money for the scholarship. So he said by March the 7th. So we're good on that. Is there anything else anybody wants to mention?
So we're looking at it happening probably sometime in May, the scholarship presentation.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, I hate that about the spay and neutering though, it dragging like that. But I remember years ago, and this has been years ago, the Jacksonville Humane Society, when they would adopt out, they would just adopt out, and then you had a certain amount of time to have that dog spayed or neutered, and they would actually, and I think they gave you a choice of maybe 3 vets you could visit or go to, and they would actually go to their house. That was a long time ago.
It must have been a long time ago, 'cause I know that's not
We're talking the
current.
80s.
That's
Yeah.
not feasible anymore.
Would
There's
go
just too
to
many
their
people.
house
Too
and
many
do a will
animals.
check and make sure it was done.
Yeah,
And
and
that-
that's not
and-
practical either, and it.
No, and it isn't. I mean, times have changed, and also too, before there was there was, what is it that we put, insert in there, I can't think of the word. What is
Vaccine.
it?
Vaccination.
The what?
Microchip?
Yeah, the microchip. They would, because I did this, I was 19. They would tattoo the person's social security number. They would shave them, and they would put their social security number on the animal in case the animal got lost. Now, we can't do that now. We've had no identity.
The identity theft.
But it's, y'all, we're talking the 80s, the early 80s. But it's just crazy how far we've come. You know, we have come with trying to recover our animals. But yeah, so not only did you get your animal back, but you lost your identity. So
Hopefully it wasn't the social security number. I know sometimes
No,
there are numbers.
no,
but
it was their. It was yes.
That's
'Cause
very
I helped
unusual.
hold the dog's hands.
It's very unusual, it's right.
Tattooing on them, and but anyway, yeah, we have come so far, and so yes, so I appreciate everyone being here. We have anything else anybody needs to bring up?
I just had one more question
Absolutely.
for Georgia. How are you doing with prevention products and medical supplies for the shelter animals? I believe that we had grant funding, so are you good in that aspect? Or
Yeah, we got plenty of wormer, and I've been trying to talk to the vets about including the DHLPP vaccine in with the actual adoption cost. In the meantime, we are highly recommending that on their first free vet check, that they're doing that. They're paying that little extra money to get that done. So a lot of people are doing it. And we just adopted out a dog, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and that poor dog didn't know what happened to it, but they gave it the works more to tell it. I mean, people are not balking at that. You know, for an extra, $15 or something, you get the extra shot because your vet check was free. It's included in the adoption.
so currently, right now, they're just being adopted out with rabies
Yeah.
vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder if there's grant funding available, because I thought there was a portion that would cover all of the medical needs, so it would be great if we could, while they're in the shelter, get them vaccinated, especially so we can control infectious disease and we don't have parvo outbreaks. So I wonder if there's an opportunity to see if we could update that and do rabies and distemper
Was
right
that
off the bat.
included in Leaders in Life Saving?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I thought,
Yeah,
too.
so I'm wondering, because that would be helpful.
That would be a question for Sarah.
And pet food, how are you doing with pet food
Yeah,
for
we're
shelter
doing great.
animals and food bank? Good?
And little homeschool kids fixed us right up.
Okay. Well, that's great to hear.
Walmart's been pretty consistent about donating, usually every Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay,
So
great.
All right, is that everything for tonight? You want to have anything? No? Okay.
No.
We're done.